the end of September and I have a small book haul for you guys. They're just a few books that I have found this month, some that I have been wanting to get for a while and some that I'm planning on reading very soon and needed to acquire, and now I am ready to share them with you guys. Hi guys, it is Samantha. I hope you guys are doing great. I can't believe we have reached the end of the month. It is the end of September. It's officially fall, my favorite time of the year, and I'm just very happy. That has nothing to do with today's video, but we're just gonna go with it. So as I said in the intro, I'm here actually today to do my September book haul. I've acquired 7 books, 5 physical and 2 ebooks, and now I'm going to share them with you guys. So the first book that I acquired this month was The Contrary Tale of the Butterfly Girl by Ishbel B. This is the sequel to The Singular and Extraordinary Tale of Mir and Goliath, and I wanted to get book 2 because I'm going to be reading it in October with Michael from Bitten by a Radioactive Book. We are actually supposed to be reading it this month, but we both kind of got sidetracked by other things, so we'll be doing it next month. I cannot wait to continue on with the series because I really enjoyed the first book. It was quite an interesting story, kind of Neil Gaiman-esque, very creepy, and this one kind of picks up, I believe, where this one left off. So it takes place in Victorian London, alternate history, magical elements, and it is just really enjoyable. Really unique storytelling style, and I just really enjoyed it. Plus, can we just with this cover? These covers are just fantastic. The next book I got has actually been on my wish list for a while, and my coworker finally convinced me to get it, and that is The Dragon Princeton by Melanie Ron. I do know that this is one of Sabrina from Steakachino's favorite book series, and that was what originally turned me onto the series, but then my coworker, who I have been getting to read the Robin Hobb books, he kept telling me to read this book series as well. It's one of his favorites. So I finally decided to just go ahead and do it, and I got a nice used copy on Amazon for like 4 cents, so you can't beat that. I love fantasy, so of course I'm always looking for new fantasy. This was written in the 80s, and there's just something about 80s and 90s fantasy that I've always really enjoyed. It's kind of the fantasy I grew up reading, and my heart kind of lies there. It's just a different way of telling the story. It's a little bit tropey, but I don't know. There's just something about it that I really enjoy. If you know what I'm talking about, let me know, but I just needed to pick it up. It follows our Prince Rowan, who is the prince of the desert, and he is living amongst these people who they slay dragons as a proof of their manhood. He has inherited his kingdom, but he actually wants to protect the dragons, and then he also has Cyanid, I think her name is, who's supposed to be his bride, and she's like a type of witch. So I'm not really sure what all of the story entails, but that's kind of the basic premise of the characters and things, and I'm just excited to dive into this at some point. The next book I actually saw on Yayyyy from the Skeptical Readers channel, and I had to get it, and that is The Portable Medieval Reader, which was edited by James Bruce and Mary Martin McLaughlin, and I just had to get it. If you guys follow my channel regularly, then you will know that I love medieval history. Medieval and ancient history are the 2 eras of history that I really find fascinating and like to read about, and I've read a few books on the Middle Ages, but this book is a collection of essays and stories and things like that written by people who lived in the Middle Ages. So it's writings from kings and warriors and merchants and chroniclers and just various people that lived in the Middle Ages. St. Francis of Assisi has some writings in here, some stuff from Chaucer in here, just a whole bunch of stuff is in here, and I cannot wait to get it because I love reading things written by people who lived during that time period, particularly when it comes to ancient texts as well as texts from the Middle Ages and things. So I had to get it. I also got this one used on Amazon for a couple of dollars, and I'm really glad I did. I cannot wait to dive into this. I'm probably just going to read an essay here or there, kind of take my time with it when the mood strikes me, but I cannot wait to get into it and read it and just read these words laid down by people who lived like 1,000 years ago and that I'm still reading right now, because I find that to be so fascinating. So I'm really glad she showed this on her channel because I had to get it right away as soon as I saw it. The next 2 books I actually picked up today. So I was out grocery shopping and stuff, and I decided to stop by my local thrift store, and there I found that they had all of their books half off, and I found Pride and Prejudice and Zombies by Seth Grahame-Smith, and this is one that I have been wanting to read for a while. It's actually coming out as a movie next year, and Matt Smith, who played the 11th Doctor, will be one of the characters. He's playing Reverend Collins, which is just going to be a hilarious role for him. So anyway, I wanted to read this before the movie came out. And I love Jane Austen, and I've heard it's pretty hilarious, and I think it'll be a good read for October, a good Halloween-like read, and I don't know, just the premise of Pride and Prejudice with zombies is just hilarious. And at some point, if I enjoy this, I will be getting to Sense and Sensibility and Sea Monsters, because why not? And the last physical book that I got, I also picked up today, and that's, whoa. It's been a while since book droppage has happened on my channel. Just whoa. So anyway, the next book I got was Dangerous Woman. This is an anthology edited by George R.R. Martin, and it is a collection of stories written by female fantasy authors featuring female characters, and I had to get it, particularly because of this name right there, Megan Lindholm, aka Robin Hobb. Robin Hobb is her pen name, Megan Lindholm is her real name, so I had to get this because I love Robin Hobb. I had to do it. I wanted to get it anyway because I love strong female protagonists, so I really wanted to get this when I saw it at the store today. I had to pick it up, particularly since I just, zeroed in on Megan Lindholm's name there. And I also found it funny because it says her story is a bittersweet tale of magic, memory, and a dog. And I'm like, well, of course it's bittersweet because her books are vaguely depressing, and a dog because she also has lots of animals in her books. That was random. Anyway, but needless to say, I really wanted to pick this up. This is another one I doubt I'll read all the way through. I'm probably going to read a story here and there. It's kind of how I treat anthologies. I'll read stories here and there as the mood strikes me, but I can definitely tell you that Megan Lindholm's will be the first one that I read, and it will probably happen this month. The next two books I found on Kindle on Amazon, and they are two fantasy books, and they just kind of seemed interesting. One was free, and one was like only $1.99. They're both by indie authors, and I like to support indie authors, so I decided why not. The first one is The Legend of Oceana, The Finding. This is by Jenna Elizabeth Johnson, and the premise sounded really intriguing. It is a world where humans have become extinct and dragons rule the land, but except for it was a curse laid upon the humans, and they are forced to live as dragons. But there are no actual humans out living until one day somebody finds an orphaned child, and this dragon ends up taking her in and taking care of her. Everybody is baffled by this, how this one person is able to exist when all humans have been cursed to live and roam the world as dragons. So she is raised by dragons, not quite comprehending as a child that it's unusual for her to be the only human. And so as she grows up, she kind of begins to unravel the truth of why she exists and find her place in the world. And I don't know, the premise just sounded kind of cool. This idea of dragons ruling the world, humans being extinct, and I just had to get it. And next book that I got on my Kindle was The Thief Who Pulled Troubled Braids by Michael McClung. This is a book that features thieves and assassins, and it follows our main character, Amra, whose fellow thief and friend, Corbin, was murdered right in front of her face, and she kind of turns her back on burglary and thieving in order to seek revenge, but she ends up getting embroiled in this plot where there is assassins and mages, mad mages and things, where everybody is trying to find the blade that whispers hate, this legendary blade that her friend was murdered for, but she has no idea where it is, so she gets kind of caught up in this plot and having to defy all of these people, get revenge for her friend's death, while trying to stay alive and figure out what the heck is going on in this world. So this is another one that sounded quite epic. I love stories that feature thieving groups and assassins and things like that, so it sounded like one that was right up my alley, so I decided to try this one out as well. Alright guys, that is it for my September book haul. You'll have to let me know if you have read any of these books and what your thoughts are, or anything else you want to read down in the comments. Feel free to do so. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, happy reading. Bye!